You're on the video now, yeah. There's Miss Drunk Eldora Million.
I wasn't drunk. You were the one that was drunk.
Man,
saying
don't
that
be worried about saying what? What
that
is?
He was cheating.
Oh my God.
Come on, Bill. There has to be something. And I'm like, no.
Oh wow, she calling you cheater too? I mean, well,
No.
hey, the year has changed from last year to this year. You found some real speed out there. It was really fast for you tonight.
Congratulations.
People coming by. What has changed over the last year? Because it is almost night and day. I mean, you won in PA in a big event. You're winning here. You're rolling the bottom where everybody's up top. What do you think has changed this year? The speed is just there like it hasn't been in the past, for sure.
Well, I just think things just take a little bit of time. Just understanding the race cars, right setups at the right times, and how much effort do you want to put into focusing on making the right setups at the right times and getting your car to feel good for you. I think I've been able to focus on that a lot more, and there's no reason for that. Just me just personally spending more time on focusing on what my car feels like, and do I like that? Do I need to make an adjustment for the racetrack? And just keeping up on that as the night goes on. And as a driver, I think it just takes a little bit of time, for me personally, just to feel more comfortable in the race car, have more control of my race car, and know what to do at certain times, not get so excited if I'm starting up front, and be able to manage a race, because everybody wants to win, but also I don't want to start, let's say, 5th and run 13th. So you have to be able to, maintain your spots as well. So it's been, a real treat to be able to make good decisions this year on my setups with my dad and Tyler and Lucky and Jack, and also be able to race the race car, well as too, making the right decisions on the racetrack.
And I was talking to Bobby about it in the infield of Houston. It's like, what's changed? He kind of said like the pressure of like sponsorship pressure, stuff like that. That's kind of changed for you this year, I guess. Is it a different?
I definitely enjoy racing. This car, that it just makes me feel like this is where I come from. Just looking at the silver wing and my dad's paint scheme, and there's oil all over my shoes and stuff like that. It just makes me feel like I'm racing a little bit like the way my dad raced, and I don't come from a fancy race shop, and there's nothing really that fancy about where I come from and the operation I come from. It's just that we're very passionate about racing, and I just love doing it the way that my dad has taught me to race. And I think that is a big relief for me, for sure. I definitely take a lot of pride in racing the way my dad has taught me how to race.
Well, and what he's relating to, is he talking about like the Dryden stuff, like the pressure of the big sponsors?
Yeah,
and now it's just Pell's kind of is like the main deal?
Well, Pell's has been a part of our family.
Right, he was saying that too.
Mark Pell has been with us. Like, if you look at our first go-karts when we were little kids, we had Pell's tire service on them. So I just love that. I've known Mark personally for a long time. He understands, how tough all this stuff is, where we come from, and he's watched me race since I was, a young kid.
So this year's kind of just overall more enjoyable to race, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I definitely enjoy not having, tons of pressure on me. I don't, when I'm running bad and I'm being put in a limelight, I don't feel very deserving of that. I don't feel like I should be put up on, not like being a limelight. Like when you have a sponsorship like Dryden, there's a lot of like
expectations
or expectations, and people get the wrong idea just because you have, Dryden all over your race suit or on your rig, and they think, well, he's got to win, or whatever people think. I don't really know. But there is expectations to all that, and I don't think I was, ready for any of that at all. I didn't really grow up racing, all the time. I lived in Indiana and everything like that. So it wasn't until I was like 17 when I got into sprint car racing, and at 19 I went on the World of Outlaw Tour, and I raced against some of the best veteran sprint car drivers like people can think about. So I never wanted to get in their way. I never wanted to cause any disrespect amongst those people, and I just wanted to learn on my own. And sometimes that can be very hard when you're starting in the back all the time. So I think just a package of racing for my dad and racing what I believe my dad has taught me how to race. I have great crew guys.
Equipment's top notch.
Oh yeah, all the equipment's great. I mean, everything. The XXX cars are great. DMI makes great products. Smith Titanium, Factory Cane, Michael Newman's motors. All those things are top notch.
It's just clicking this year.
Yeah, it's just, that's all top notch stuff. And then just making the right decisions on the race car and making the right decisions on the racetrack, I think.
Right. It seemed like a lot of right rears burned off tonight in the rubber up top, where you kind of stayed in the good down there. I'm assuming your right rear wasn't gone?
No, my right rear wasn't too bad. I mean, it wasn't a great looking right rear by any means.
But there's some that are bald down the pitting area.
Yeah, mine wasn't bald by any means. Mine was worn out for sure. But, I had no idea that everybody was running around the top. I mean, and I did feel a little bit of rubber off of 2, but like the way I was coming off the corner, it was hard to like really feel it. But I wasn't sure. I mean, I was nervous with 4 to go, and there's a wide racetrack with 2 very different places,
Well, and if the car's going forward, why move,
It's hard, yeah. I felt the same way at Lincoln. You hate to go against your gut, or you just need to stick. I feel like it's best to stick to your guns. That might not always work in your favor, but at least you're doing what you think's right. And you can't come back to the trailer and be like, well, I should have just stuck to my guns.
Right.
So I think it's better just to do that.
Well, weekend ain't over. A lot more big races, I'm sure you're wanting to capitalize.
Yeah.
And no matter what that drunk lady from Eldora is saying, I don't think it's the tires.
Nah, it's all good. I mean, nobody's supposed to believe in me. Nobody needs.
Right. That's probably the irony.
I'm not supposed to I never came into any race season, whether I had dry heat on my car or whatever, and expect everybody to believe I'm some big shot or whatever. I'm just a normal guy trying to figure out how to be good against really good race car drivers.
The best in the world, probably the best in America. Especially
these are great race car drivers
across the board.
Everybody does it, for a living. So
it's probably harder to win in this than it is NASCAR Formula One.
So to me, when everybody comes up and they're so happy and proud, it really feels good. But I never expected anybody to believe me. I think it comes down to your team believes in you. My dad believes in me, and and ultimately I have to believe in myself. I just hope to keep all this, rolling.
Gotta believe in yourself.
This is how we ride. This is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up.